so through your apprenticeship, obviously, you know, there were times that you felt. I remember at the start, you felt like you weren't doing carpentry. Like you were frustrated by the fact that, like, you know, when you started, you weren't doing carpentry. But I remember you saying, like, Michael was like, you know, it'll all make sense in the end. Talk a bit about that, and then talk a bit about like what you got from the apprenticeship that you had, and like how that helped you going forward.
Yeah, I felt like, you know, you can do an apprenticeship with a carpentry crew which solely does carpentry. It's like a plumber only does plumbing, an electrician only does electrical work. Like, carpentry is a trade where you could work as a carpenter underneath a builder, which is doing the full scope of the project. So from digging a hole in the ground to handing over the keys to the client. Or you could work for a carpentry crew that only comes in and is engaged in carpentry elements of the work. So I went down the path of being employed by a builder. So the first option that I spoke about. And initially, like, I did carpentry, I did setting up temporary fencing, I helped set out, you know, board piers for the excavation at the start of the project, setting up traffic control signs, labouring, cutting concrete, drilling into concrete, learn how to weld. And when you go, that's all good and well, and I'm so glad I did that because it's paid off now. But at the time when you're doing a carpentry apprenticeship, when you go to trade school and people there that have only been doing carpentry, well, they're like already learning how to frame a deck or build a wall frame or pitch a roof. And it's like that, and you sort of, you understand it because I was naturally good at that stuff, but also they were doing it day in, day out. They had no idea about building, but that didn't matter in that setting. In that setting, it was about carpentry. And so I found the struggle I was having was, well, I don't feel like I'm learning enough about carpentry and that I'm not like excelling in that area when I go to trades. It was highlighted when I went to trades. When I was back at work, I was in my zone. I knew, like, by the second or third year of my apprenticeship, I was like looking after elements of work and managing people because I'd picked up so much from Michael Malakos, my boss at the time, and the associated workers as being a builder and understanding the concept of building. Like, I was, in hindsight, Michael was saying to me, well, Jake, he used to call me Snake. He's like, Snake, do you want to be a builder or do you want to be a carpenter your whole life? And I'm like, well, I'm not sure yet, but I want to do more carpentry. And I feel like, and he's like, yeah, but just be patient. Like, anyone can go and do a frame. Like, you don't have to know how to do that 100 miles an hour. You just have to know the concept, and then you can apply yourself whenever you need to do that. Just trust me, go through the process, and it will be good and it will pay off. So yeah, that was that sort of pivot point. I think it was about 2 years in to the apprenticeship that I had that conversation, and I decided to stick around, and I'm glad I did.